Patron, take them away.
And welcome to Morning Watch with me, the Scruff, on this fine day, 15th of September. Is it a fine day? Not really. It's chucking down with rain, you can hardly see a hand in front of you with the fog. But are the charts full of fog? Well, we're about to find out. In these little videos, what we do is we look at the economic news, and I also go through the strongest and weakest currency to see if there's a little bit of a watch basket for you. Now, they're done on a reward basis, and we're looking for around 85 likes for the next video to be public, and that kind of just tells me that it's justifying my time. These sheets are made every day for the Scruffy squad, so if you want to come along and see it, you'll find it in the Discord, and there's links for that in the comments. So if that sounds good, do hit the subscribe button. You find value, smash the like, and we'll crack on. So let's have a quick look, see what's going on today. Well, if I just pull in the news, if you bear with me a second, I'll just drag that down because I'm not quite prepared this morning. It's been a busy old morning, and it was a busy old day yesterday, running off the back of that. Okay, so this morning we're coming in off sort of Asian news from last night. There wasn't a great deal, didn't really do much to the markets, but we are having Euro news all day today. And that was revved up yesterday, and we've seen it. The Euro dropped like a brick yesterday. And we'll touch on that in just a second. But as you see, as we go into the morning, it's currently just after 7. So in about an hour's time, it'll start kicking off. But it's not really anything to worry about. And the times you're looking at are all UK times, London times. So think of ripples in the pond. It'll just ripple throughout the day, but it is Friday, so you need to be careful of that, because Friday is a game of opposites. And what that means is on a Monday money's coming in, Friday money's going out, so also be aware of that. Now as we go into mid-afternoon, it starts to pick up pace a little bit. We've got Canada news coming in, but it's very low level, nothing to worry about, but there's quite a bit of US data. It's not really high spike data, but again, it's ripples in the pond. It's one after the other. Bang, 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 bang. So it'll start moving the markets. Now, bear in mind, the Euros got news this morning. You've got US data this afternoon. These are sort of areas you want to be paying attention to. Now, your warning time is around 3 o'clock. Now, that's when it really kicks off. It is marked as high, and it will spike the market. It won't necessarily turn the market, but just be very wary between 1:30 and 3, and then this runs off till 6 o'clock tonight. Now, today's trading is really technical. There's not a lot of news around that can spike and throw the market. So just be aware of when they're coming in, and just be sure that there's volatility there. Now, running from this, if I look at my strength sheet that I've made this morning, I just pull this in for you. I've added a couple of little extras on, just to show you what I look at through the day. Now, this I update kind of the top of each hour, and it tells me whether a trade is ready to go or not. Okay, and that's what I do for the squad. And it's just me being accountable. They are not signals, and they're never to be taken as signals. But what we can see here is the Aussie is pushed to the top of the tree, and the Euro has fell to the bottom, and it's also the biggest drop from the last data sample. Now that's quite significant, and it showed itself yesterday because there was a huge drop on the Euro, but it had to, because it was pushing very, very high. And as we can see, the biggest move of change is the Euro. Now the Swissy, which was weak, is starting to gain a bit of ground, and it's the biggest gainer. It's still not pulled itself around a little bit, and that's kind of shown here because it's very hard to gauge what's going on. So there is no trade for it at all, so you just minus that off. The markets are compressing, which means none of these are outweighing any of the others, so it's not pulling any of the majors out. And what I now look at is just Aussie Euro because it's the strongest and the weakest. How do I do that? Come across here, find out what the pair is. Well, it's the Euro Aussie. It's got a decent ATR and it's telling me to look at a 1 hour chart. Yep. Somebody's phone kicking off. So it's telling me to look at a 1 hour chart. So from there, let's pull the chart up and we'll have a little look at it. Okay. Now, yesterday did very well. We in a clean sheet today, so there's no swings, no days, nothing's running. And that's what we did yesterday. And if you remember, we called most of these out. And I did quite well. Got clipped a little bit, but start with 0, end with 1. So where does this come into the equation? Well, if we look at, say, the Euro Swissy just as a point of interest. These are the biggest movers and shakers. It is difficult to see where this one's going because it is down, but it's been in compression. But look at that drop. That is the Euro drop yesterday. It's incredibly weak and the Swissy's gaining ground, pushing up. Okay, well, if I'm looking at an hour on that, this is a perfect fib opportunity. So from there to there. So this one for all, it's no trade. When it gets up to about 23, that's when you'd be kind of looking at it because it's now brushing this. You want to see the break of that structure. And then you've got a good pull into this power shift candle up to around this area. It's quite a dangerous market and it's pretty slow. But the one that pulled out is this one. And it's a similar story. Now, if I pull the sheet back slightly, I can tell you to buy it. But it's also telling you it's risky. So why is it risky? Well, let me explain. Just as a quick heads up, start at a daily and you'll see it's had a colossal run, push up, consolidation, strong push, and it's coming back on itself. Now, if this is to continue on an upward move, in and around this area is the bounce point, okay, for that continuation. If it's going full retracement, I'd need to see it break through this zone and then you're targeting down to here. However, it's saying buy but risky. It's risky because it's in the face of a strong sell. Okay, but there is a huge power shift here. You can see that. Take it to a 4 hour, which is stepping out. And again, you've got a good fib. Now, if I'm going to put a buy into this, you can stage down onto there because it has a high probability it'll bounce. There is some kind of order block, area of interest, whatever you want to call it. To me, they're just areas of interest. How would I measure that out? I would just find the top of the move, go to the bottom, just like so, and then sure enough, that area is highlighted by the next key fib, which is that. Get rid of that. So that gives me an area of interest for target, drop it to the hourly, and now what I have is a trading zone with a clear defined area of compression, and I can just trade up into the base of it or hold on to there if I feel brave. And then if I'll keep in a runner on, well, there's a power shift candle here. This will have a chance to be looked at because there was a lot of activity in this area, so it can push up to there. Because it's in the face of a heavy sell, I'd be very, very conservative. So there you go, guys. Hope that helps. If it does, do click the subscribe button. Genuinely motivates me to do more. And if you found value and you want to see this again, hit the like button. So as always, guys, trade well, keep your risk managed, but above all, do what you love and the money will follow. See you all in the next one.